guys, I've just heard some movie news that acclaimed actor Liam Neeson is about to take on the esteemed role of Lieutenant Frank Drebin. Do you remember him? Guys, it's hard to believe, but Liam will be starring in the remake of The Naked Gun. If you want to know more, stick around. G'day viewers, Retro Man here and welcome to the show. Now back in the 80s guys, there was a very popular franchise that started and they were called the Naked Gun films. Now guys, just talking about them puts a smile on my face. These were spoof movies starring Leslie Nielsen. You remember him, the white-haired guy that was kind of a bit doddery and out there. And guys, he didn't know what was going on. He played a detective called Frank Drebin. And wherever he went, it was a bit of a disaster zone. Now, the Naked Gun films, they ended up making 3 of these. The first one in the late 80s there was just so successful, guys. In fact, the title of it was The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad. Now, it was actually based on a TV series called Police Squad, which came out in the early 80s and it kind of flopped. But when it came out in a movie form in the late 80s as The Naked Gun, this thing exploded and this franchise took off, and they made a second film in the 90s called Naked Gun 2.5, and then later on they did a third movie called The Naked Gun 33 1/3. Now all of these Naked Gun films made big bucks at the box office, and I think that everyone has probably seen one of these films. Now I certainly went and saw all 3 of them in the cinema because I like my comedies, and I must say guys, I had a fun time despite their short running time. I remember when I saw the second one, I went, hang on a minute, I've only just sat down and it's finished? Jeez, I mean, it went that fast. But guys, was it worth the price of a ticket? Well, I did get a few laughs out of it, but these were super fast and super cheap to make. And it's funny, guys, that the Naked Gun will be coming back soon in the form of a vehicle for the actor Liam Neeson. Now, this is kind of a little bit bizarre. I mean, Liam Neeson has been very stoic and action-orientated as a result of starring in those Taken films, and now he's kind of gonna spoof it up as Detective Frank Drebin. Now guys, it does sort of offer something, I think, this idea. I mean, Liam Neeson is quite a popular actor, but is he really going to cut it in the comedy stakes? I mean, Leslie Nielsen was just great doing his thing, but will Liam Neeson stand up to Leslie Nielsen? It's kind of going to be a bit different. I mean, Liam Neeson has kind of hit that point now where he's doing all of these Taken clones, if you will, and they're very serious action films, but some of them are a little bit silly and they're becoming, you know, a bit of a joke in themselves. Liam Neeson's about 74 years of age now, so he's getting up there. So maybe he feels it's time to kind of spoof the image that he's been creating as an action star for the last 15 years. So guys, it'll be interesting to see how this one turns out. But what I will say, there's been an interesting revelation that he's going to be joined by a very famous co-star for this new film, and it is of course Pamela Anderson. Now guys, the Baywatch star has apparently signed on for the Naked Gun remake. So in the old film, of course, we had Priscilla Presley, Elvis's ex-wife, and I think Priscilla Presley equipped herself very well and played off Leslie Nielsen with ease. I kind of liked her in those films, so it'll be kind of interesting to see what is going to happen with Liam and Pamela. Wow, I mean, just thinking about it, I suppose it offers all sorts of possibilities. Pamela Anderson, of course, has become a self-parody over the years, if you will. So, in some ways, she could be nicely placed into this thing. But she, of course, is not a big movie actress, but she did try to make it in films at one point, Pammy. She had this film out in the mid-90s called Barbed Wire, which was her attempt to make a big blockbuster comic book film. And that didn't go so well. And, guys, everyone just knows her from Baywatch, and she's a cultural identity for a certain demographic, guys. So Pamela Anderson still has a standing, and I think in some ways, given that this is a spoof, and Pamela Anderson has shown over the years that she can camp it up a little bit, it could be an okay fit. So I'll be really curious to see what happens with this film. As I understand it, they start shooting in June 2024. So guys, this should, be a release sometime in 2025. I don't expect it will be the hit of the early film in 1988. I mean, nothing can come close to the effect of that one with Leslie Nielsen. But who knows, with Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson, and the right marketing, this film could be, a curiosity piece for some, and it could do very well. So, guys, I will certainly be watching, and I'm sure if you're into your comedies, you will give this one a shot. So, guys, tell me in the comments below what you think of this intriguing casting, Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson in the Naked Gun remake. I'm kind of cool with the cast at the moment, and I'm sure there should be a few more famous faces that pop up in this thing. So yes, it'll be kind of interesting to see how Liam Neeson equips himself in the comedy zone, and guys, it will be a hard ask to beat Leslie Nielsen. He was just fantastic, guys. He was just this bumbling old guy, and man, Liam Neeson is going to have the odds stacked against him. But that's all I can say at this point on the remake of The Naked Gun. If I hear more, I will certainly be back to tell you more. But until next time, this is Retro Man, living the dream, retro style. Stay gold.
Thanks for watching. Retro Man will return faster than a boomerang. But in the meantime, please check out these other episodes.